Beach.
A Miami jury takes 12 hours to come up with a verdict in the trial of a man charged with robbing Mayor Xavier Suarez's family.
The trial is now underway for a man charged with having an anti-drug crusader killed.
A cave explorer's rescue takes lots of twists and turns today.
And Bo is back in baseball.
These stories and much more coming up next on Channel 7 News at noon.
Injured in an accident? You may have the legal right to collect money damages. Call the law offices of Gross and Tellisman today. Dade 255-6300, Broward 563-9333.
Great values are springing up at close time. Save 20 to 50% every day.
Close time.
Live from Channel 7, South Florida's news station. Charles Molyneux, Baron Black, and weather with Tom Burse. This is Channel 7 News at noon.
New revelations are out this afternoon in the sex scandal at the Kennedy compound in South Florida. Good afternoon. The alleged victim may have been a guest of the family.
That's the word from Patrick Kennedy, the son of Senator Edward Kennedy. Police are also now saying that drinking played a significant role, but there aren't many more facts available. That's not stopping all of Palm Beach from talking about it, no matter how people feel.
They're in the limelight, and you do want to hear about it. If something is good, you want to hear about it. If something is bad, you want to hear about it. And we're all very curious as to what really happened.
They probably are getting a little bit of a bad rap, I think. You know, because the story is explosive.
I think it is all blown out of proportion. Just because it's the Kennedy family, everybody's taken particular notice of it. If it happened to anybody else, they wouldn't bother with it.
Yes, the people who stroll on these affluent streets are talking about the incident, but the police are keeping pretty quiet.
It would hinder us, I believe, more than help us if we started to name names, places in more detail than we already did.
The cops will say this much. A 30-year-old Palm Beach County woman claims she was raped at the Kennedy family compound early Saturday morning. And they are now confirming booze played a key part in the incident. Senator Ted Kennedy was in town for Easter. He was seen drinking at a popular night spot.
I know that Teddy was here, and perhaps his nephew and his son. But aside from that, you know, it's all...
You don't know what they did while they were here, if they were drinking?
No.
The senator says he had nothing to do with the incident. Police aren't commenting about him. And they're still not saying who the alleged victim is accusing. Although, of course, by not ruling the Kennedys out, they could be making things at least look much worse. Channel 7's Patrick Frazier is in Palm Beach. He'll have the very latest tonight at 5.
Testimony.
In evaluating the totality of the evidence, the prejudice from this evidence outweighs the probative value and does not support, evidentiary-wise, the state's theory of this case.
And that first witness, Gary Duvall, is still on the stand at this hour. We expect him to probably be testifying for another hour or so. The prosecution will continue to call its witnesses throughout the day. The trial just getting underway, as we mentioned. We expect this trial to run about 3 weeks. We'll, of course, be monitoring it throughout that time, and we'll have a full report coming up for you this afternoon at 5 and 6 o'clock. Charles?
Thank you, Rick. That's Channel 7's Rick Chambers reporting live from the Metro Justice Building. There.
Fort Lauderdale police are looking for 3 armed men suspected in a drive-by shooting. 2 men were wounded this morning. One was hit in the hand, the other in the arm. They are being treated at local hospitals. The incident happened at 1250 Northwest 29th Terrace. The suspects are described as 3 black men armed with a .22 caliber shotgun. They got away in a charcoal gray Acura. A man who was shot in Liberty City last night remains hospitalized this afternoon. The shooting happened at a housing project on 56th Street and 23rd Avenue. Police say the victim was talking to the gunman when they opened fire on him. He was shot several times and taken to Jackson Memorial Hospital, where he's listed in critical condition.
Metro-Dade police are holding on to a woman they say cut off the head of a chicken right in front of a cop and then drank its blood. 49-year-old Ophelia Garcia is charged with cruelty to animals. The police had gone to Southwest Dade looking for information on a wanted fugitive. One of them heard a scream and went inside a house. He told the woman to put down the chicken. The police say she appeared to be in a trance and cut off its head. Another woman at the home told investigators the suspect had been trying to cleanse the house of spirits. Police are keeping a close eye on a convicted criminal who's proving to be one slippery character. 17-year-old Royce Reed appeared in Dade Circuit Court this morning, and he was ordered held without bond under tight security. He has already been found guilty of armed robbery, kidnapping, and car theft. Police say in March he escaped from the once, got caught, then escaped again. He was rearrested yesterday at Jackson Memorial Hospital. Somehow he'd gotten shot in the hand.
Jacksonville police are looking for 2 men who robbed and shot a Persian Gulf War veteran 1 week after he returned home. Petty Officer 3rd Class Daryl Young from the USS Saratoga was shot and robbed outside a Jacksonville nightclub earlier this week. Now, police say Young was approached by the men who offered to sell him a camera. Young refused the offer, and the men left, but they returned and demanded Young's money. He told them he didn't have any. Well, one of the gunmen then shot the naval officer in the thigh and robbed him of his gold chain and tennis shoes. The Turkish news agency says 1 Western journalist died during recent fighting between Iraqi troops and Kurdish rebels in northern Iraq. 2 others are reported injured. Now, dozens of journalists were able to escape the violent civil uprising by crossing a river into Turkey. One CNN reporter who reached safety says Iraqi government troops are sweeping out the rebels. A resolution that will formally end the Gulf War is expected to be voted on at the UN Security Council today. Members are not expected to mention anything about Iraq's civil war. The U.S., Soviet Union, and Britain have blocked a French proposal to seek peace talks between the Iraqi government and the rebels. Iraq's UN ambassador has sharply criticized the ceasefire conditions, which include the destruction of Iraq's nuclear, chemical, and biological weapons.
Things are looking bleak this afternoon for Kurds in Iraq. Western journalists report those fleeing from government troops are suffering from starvation, cold, and exposure. As many as 100,000 Kurds have retreated into the icy mountains of northern Iraq. This afternoon, Great Britain is calling for a United Nations humanitarian appeal to help aid the Kurdish people. Iraqi President Saddam Hussein is promising to make rebuilding his ravaged country a top priority. He held his first meeting with his new cabinet yesterday. Meanwhile, the U.S. Treasury Department is warning Americans not to conduct businesses with the 89 front companies and middlemen accused of helping Hussein in the war effort. Opposition leaders are appealing for calm today in violence-torn Albania. Riot police were forced to move in on a crowd of demonstrators outside Democratic Party headquarters. They are protesting the murder of a Democratic Party leader. Witnesses say he was fired upon from Communist Party headquarters during a post-election rally.
Coming up, a New Mexico cave explorer is still inching her way toward freedom.
Some scary new numbers are painting a grim picture about AIDS and women having children.
And Chicago is losing a bit of baseball history.
Those stories and more are coming up on South Florida's news station.
During the weekend, this is my favorite activity. And during the week, I'm an instructor at ATI. I've been repairing and building race cars most of my life. At ATI, we teach the basics in tune-ups, engine diagnostics, wheel alignment, and all the skills that you'll need to start your automotive career.
If a career in automotive repair is what you want, in Fort Lauderdale, call 563-5899. That's 563-5899. In Miami, call 573-1600. That's 573-1600.
Now, a taste as fresh and light as morning itself. New Farm Rich Light, with 40% less fat and calories.
100-356-3637. Bruce Codner Galleries.
A guy can really go places with 50 grand. A lot of people are. Hey, Leo, Charlotte. Hi, Mr. Moneybag. Nice to see you. Hi.
Hi, big guy.
Hey. All right, Mr. Moneybag.
There's still plenty of chances to win 50 grand instantly. Playing 50 grand from the Florida Lottery. You could be next.
Get the change. You guys sure know how to have a good time.
It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
An injured cave explorer in New Mexico is facing her toughest challenge today. Rescuers are trying to carry her through an especially treacherous section of America's deepest known cavern. Emily Mobley suffered a broken leg on Sunday when a rock fell on her. Right now, she's got 70 people working to get her out. Rescuers are hoping they'll have her out of the cave by Friday.
Demolition crews are taking a wrecking ball to the oldest park in the major leagues. There were tears and cheers as the ball struck Old Kaminsky Park in Chicago. It's expected to take more than half a year to tear down the stadium that has been home to the White Sox since 1910. This year, the Sox will begin playing in a new park across the street. Meanwhile, the White Sox have a famous new team member. Bo knows he'll continue to play ball. Bo Jackson announced he signed a one-year contract with Chicago. Jackson was released by the Kansas City Royals last month after suffering a severe hip injury during a Los Angeles Raiders playoff game.
I'll see about our weather for baseball or whatever you've got going on here in South Florida. Steve Adams is checking it all out for us. Hi, Steve.
Hey, I tell you what, you can make the center field wall if you're batting with the wind today. You got about a 25-mile-an-hour boost out there. Here's what's happening on the radar right now. We see more showers building up just offshore. These near-shore showers are moving ashore, so it's turning out to be sort of a gray day in many spots around as that easterly flow pushes those clouds and the showers on shore all up and down Broward and Dade County, down through the Keys. You can expect some also, some back into Florida Bay, back in that area and up around Palm Beach. Let's take a look real quick at what the beach looks like out there right now. All over is looking pretty windy and gusty out there. The riptides being a problem once again because as the seas, the waves stack up on the beach, they've got to run back out. And when they do run back out, they run out in little rivulets under the undercurrent, and it forms a riptide. You see them trying to get to a low spot there and run out. So what that does, it produces an offshore stream that can carry you out too far. So be careful with that. Let's take a look at the temperatures around the neighborhood. 78, 77 all up and down. Miami 75, 78 Homestead, 80 down in Key West, 77 over on the west coast at Fort Myers. East at 15, the winds right now. 30.20 and falling. The humidity is 66% right now. So it looks like we're going to continue to have this easterly wind right now. You can see the stuff just comes right up here and stacks right up on the shore, and that's where we're getting our cloud cover and shower activity from right now. It's a very strong easterly flow. You see it coming all the way in from way out in the Atlantic, so we're going to have these winds for a while. Here's what's happening around the rest of the country. The high pressure out here spinning that stuff back on us is spinning moisture back up out of the Gulf. As it does so, it meets with that cooler air coming down from here in Bingo. You get thunderstorms, a lot of shower activity, some icy stuff even on the top side of this as it moves across the nation's midsection. Meanwhile, out west, 1-2 systems coming in there, one rolling off the eastern slopes of the Rockies now, another one stacking up in the Pacific Northwest. We'll watch them for later in the week and the weekend to see if they get anywhere near us. This one's not going to affect us too much except maybe across the Panhandle. It's going to go almost due east as it goes across, and we're going to continue to get that easterly flow until that high pressure gets further out here and it'll turn to a southeasterly flow. And all that makes sense. Anyway, here's what's happening with the temperatures, too. You can see the warmer air being pulled up, the colder air circulating down over it. So we've got cool temperatures, and back into the eastern or western half of the country, temperatures are really going to be dropping down into Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, again, into the freezing zone there. Long-range forecast looking at this low pressure and a trailing warm front coming off the front side of that, moving across the southeastern states, kicking off thunderstorms and shower activity as it goes. The high pressure and the sunshine will move into the northeast, and those systems out west will kick up some pretty good-sized weather for them. The forecast for us today, tonight, and tomorrow calls for partly sunny skies, windy, isolated showers around, and with those wind gusts, it'll seem kind of severe at times, 76 to 78 degrees for our high today. Tonight's going to be partly cloudy, still windy, more showers left over, 68 to 72 our lows tonight. And tomorrow, it's going to be partly sunny, gusty east winds will continue. Look again tomorrow, high about 78 degrees. For the boaters on Dade and Broward coastal waterways, keep it tied to the dock. Winds northeast and east, 20 to 25 knots. Seas are going to be 5 to 8. Bay waters are going to be choppy, and it's going to be higher out in the Gulf Stream. Still looks like a saw blade out there if you look at the horizon. Low tide at Miami's Government Cut, 4:47 this afternoon. Next high tide at 11:14 tonight. Sunset will be at 6:38. Sunrise tomorrow, 6:09 a.m. Stay inside, read a book, or hold on to your hat if you got to go out, and keep both hands on the steering wheel. Real gusty out there.
Let's be careful out there as a rule. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. Some frightening news is out this afternoon about AIDS and women of childbearing age, and Florida is topping the list. The Centers for Disease Control says there's new evidence that up to 80,000 American women of childbearing age may be infected with the AIDS virus. As a result, some 1,500 to 2,100 babies could be born HIV positive each year. The study found 4 areas in the country with the highest rates of infected women. And they are Florida, New York, New Jersey, and the District of Columbia. There could soon be another drug on the market in the battle against AIDS. The Bristol-Myers Squibb company is asking for government approval of the anti-AIDS drug DDI. The drug, also known as Videx, slows the progression of AIDS. AZT is currently the only government-approved AIDS drug.
A small California town is considering what's being called the toughest smoking law in the country. The town of Walnut Creek was nicknamed the most livable city in the country. Now city officials want to live up to that name. If it's approved, the ordinance would ban smoking in all restaurants, bars, and public places. We'll find out more next week. That's when it's scheduled to go up for a vote.
Just ahead, the mayor wants him to quit, but LA's police chief isn't going along with it.
Another SNL crook will give up his life of luxury for a life behind bars.
And President Bush wraps up his R&R in the Keys.
ATI is the perfect place to train for a career that's just right for you. Listen to what these heating and air conditioning students are saying about ATI. Carl, why did you choose ATI instead of going to college?
Well, after 15 years on the road in the trucking industry, I didn't feel like I wanted to be there the rest of my life. I've already been to college, and ATI gives me the opportunity to concentrate strictly on air conditioning and refrigeration.
And Joe, how do your friends feel about you attending ATI?
My friends are proud of me attending ATI, and that makes me feel great.
Anthony, what is the biggest benefit you'll get from ATI?
I want a comfortable career in the industry that is booming.
At ATI, you'll receive plenty of hands-on training with classroom instruction to prepare you for
For the past 15 years, the law offices of David A. Hoynes have been helping injured people in South Florida. They have the experience to handle your auto, motorcycle, or workers' compensation claim. While most cases settle, some end up in court. And you need the experience of David A. Hoynes, a lawyer admitted to practice in 14 separate court systems. If you've been injured, call the law offices of David A. Hoynes in Broward at 561-9500, in Dade at 940-1948.
A callus makes you feel like you're walking on stones. But Dr. Scholl's callus removers get rid of the pain by getting rid of the callus safely and effectively. We guarantee it. Get Dr. Scholl's callus removers and stone removers. Dr. Scholl's.
Is this your kid? And is he drinking the only juice drink with a full day's vitamin C, 4 other vitamins, and all natural flavors? Well, maybe this isn't your kid, but this should be his juice drink. Tang Fruit Box. Nutrition in disguise.
Los Angeles Police Chief Daryl Gates this afternoon is rejecting Mayor Tom Bradley's call for his resignation. Last night, Bradley made it official.
I am trying to leave it to the chief to reach the conclusion that I had reached, that by remaining, that the healing process could not begin, and that instead of helping, he was hurting both the department and the city. And it became clear that he had not recognized that, and I therefore today called upon his resignation.
Gates has come under increasing pressure to quit following the videotaped beating of an unarmed motorist by LA police officers. Richard Daley will return to Chicago's mayoral seat. He received nearly 2/3 of the votes in yesterday's election. Daley has been mayor for 2 years, finishing the term of the late Harold Washington. His father, Richard Daley, Sr., was mayor of Chicago for nearly 30 years.
Well, he was dubbed one of the highest of the high flyers in the savings and loan scandal. Now he'll be spending the next few years behind bars. The former head of Vernon Savings and Loan, Don Dixon, was sentenced yesterday to 5 years in prison. He illegally used depositors' money. He'll also have to repay $577,000. Dixon says it was a fair sentence.
I thought the judge was fair and just for what the jury convicted me of.
Dixon could have been sentenced to 120 years in prison and fined $5.5 million. Former President Richard Nixon is wrapping up his 2-week visit to the Soviet Union. He spent yesterday meeting with rivals, Soviet President Mikhail Gorbachev and Russian Republic President Boris Yeltsin. It was Nixon's 7th trip to Moscow, but his first meeting with Yeltsin, he called him a formidable political leader.
And President Bush is wrapping up his 4-day vacation here in the Sunshine State. Mr. Bush left the Keys this morning. He and First Lady Barbara spent their free time fishing and soaking up some sun. Before they leave Florida, the president will go to Hobe Sound to visit his mother. He returns to the White House tonight.
Just ahead, the world has lost a great writer.
And this guy isn't clowning around when it comes to saying no to drugs.
The best hot dogs in the world have been served for 75 years in New York at a place called Coney Island. Piping hot and hearty, made with a special all-beef recipe. People still come from miles around to enjoy the robust taste of Nathan's famous Franks. Now Nathan's has come to Florida with the same great taste that made him famous 75 years ago. All you have to do is go to your supermarket. Nathan's famous Franks. There's still nothing like them. You'll find Nathan's famous Franks at Publix.
Crime is increasing. Where will it stop? Stop crime at your door or window with Roll-Up, the real protector. Call Roll-Up now for fast installation and substantial savings. Enjoy solid security against intruders with Roll-Up, the real protector. Call Roll-Up now for a free estimate. You'll find Roll-Up under W in the white pages.
Call Roll-Up today at 1-800-USA-2000.
Teacher, one who instructs, educates, disciplines.
A teacher is a person who I believe instills a love of learning in all of their students, and they believe in each of their students' capability and unique attributes.
Best, excellent beyond all others, perfection.
Being the best means to strive for high standards.
WSVN and Midas salute South Florida's best teachers. They do it for you, and they do it the best.
If you're looking for a new career opportunity, listen to this. There's never been a better time to be a computer repair technician like me. We're really in demand and we make good money. The National Education Center is now offering a course to train you as a computer repair technician. Call now for a copy of this brochure. This could be your chance of a lifetime.
For a brochure, call 1-800-722-7337. That's 1-800-722-7337.
We have this just into the Channel 7 newsroom. A brush fire is causing problems in far west Broward. The northbound lanes of US 27 have been shut down just north of Griffin Road. Smoke from the fire has been blowing across the road. So far, we have no word yet on how much of an area is burning. Of course, we'll have more information for you as soon as we get it.
One of this century's most acclaimed novelists is dead today. That story tops our People in the News. Graham Greene, whose novels include The Power and the Glory, The Quiet American, and The Third Man, passed away today in Switzerland. His publisher said he had been suffering from a long illness. Greene was 86 years old. Actor Paul Newman is celebrating an anniversary today. It was 10 years ago that he started his food company, Newman's Own, with a recipe for an olive oil salad dressing. Well, since then, he's developed recipes for spaghetti sauce and popcorn. Yesterday, Newman celebrated at the Russian Tea Room in New York by introducing a salsa and ranch salad dressing that will be added to his product lineup. And actor Nick Nolte is about to become a bachelor again. He's reportedly filed for divorce from his wife of 7 years. Nolte's publicist says the split is amicable and the two will share custody of their 4-year-old son. It was Nolte's third marriage.
Here's a look at some of what's coming up later today on Channel 7 News. We'll have all the latest developments in the investigation into that alleged rape at the Kennedy compound in Palm Beach. Why are all those whales beaching themselves in the Keys? We'll look at that puzzle. And health specialist Marilyn Mitchell says, forget braces, try teeth shaving. Those stories and more coming up tonight on Channel 7 News beginning at 5.
And, what is
teeth shaving?
We'll have to listen to that tonight.
Oh, boy. First, we got brush fires. And no. If you're going to be out there driving around today, watch out. It's very gusty, okay? I was driving on 95 yesterday, and I was making involuntary lane changes.
Okay.
But anyway, the driving tip of the day. Let's take a look at the week ahead and see what's happening weather-wise. We're going to have some partly cloudy, partly sunny skies off and on. Temperature is going to hover around 80 into the low 80s right on through the weekend. The lows will be in the upper 60s to low 70s, so we have a delightful next few days. We need a few showers and sprinkles around to bring our rainfall amounts up. And we're going to get some of the isolated, widely scattered showers today as they're blowing in off the ocean. That easterly wind will be strong. Watch out for the riptide effect on the beach. And if you go lay on the beach, you might want to take a shield. Otherwise, you're going to get sandblasted.
And van drivers, watch out.
Van drivers, anything with a high profile. Right?
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, sure.
Well, finally this afternoon, he's got a big red nose and wears funny clothes. Probably not the kind of guy you'd expect to talk about such a serious subject as drugs. Unless, of course, he's a clown. Michael Guido calls himself the world's fastest clown because he's also a professional race car driver. And yep, he drives in full clown garb. Guido was entertaining about 1,000 kids today at Alapata Elementary. His message, just say no to drugs. He got it across with jokes, juggling, and a little magic. Guido has been a race car driver for 10 years and a clown for 5.
I'm sure he made an impression on the kids. That wraps up Channel 7 News at noon. Headline News is next.
For Varyn, Steve, and all of us here at South Florida's news station, make it a good day. Now let's take a look at spring in Muskogee, Oklahoma. Folks are gearing up for their annual Azalea Festival.